शेयर नहीं चाहिए, हमारा ये सब दावा नहीं है। हम एक सनातन धर्मी हैं, हमारा ये दावा है कि भगवान को बिना पूजा भोग राग के वंचित नहीं रखा जाना चाहिए।
अभी आप पूजा करके वहाँ तब फिर भोजन करेंगे जैसा आप कह रहे हैं?
जी, पूजा जरूरी है। सनातन धर्मियों की ओर से 100 करोड़ से ज़्यादा सनातन धर्मियों लगभग की यही भावना है। हर घर में ये प्रैक्टिस है हिंदुओं की कि पूजा के बाद ही भोजन करते हैं। हम पूजा के लिए निकल चुके थे, 71 लोगों को पूजा सामग्री पीछे छोड़ करके हम थोड़ी सी सामग्री लेके अकेले आगे जा रहे थे। उतने में भी आपको दिक्कत है तो हम ये कह रहे हैं कि भैया हम पूजा अब चूँकि निकल चुके, इसलिए पूजा के बाद ही अब मठ में हम अंदर जाएंगे, अभी गेट पर ही रहेंगे और पूजा के बाद ही अन्न जल ग्रहण करेंगे।
Hundreds clashed in Kanpur after a Muslim organization called to shut down shops at the Parade Market, one of the biggest wholesale markets in the city. The two groups came to blows at the city's Parade Chowk, pelting stones at one another and at the police. Several rounds of gunshots were fired too. Cops have arrested 24 people and have identified 8 more till now after raiding overnight, and massive police deployment has been made at the violence-hit area. The main accused, Hayat Zafar Hashmi, has been arrested by the police from Lucknow. Police has claimed that Hashmi gathered people to protest by conducting a Facebook Live. The police are also probing if there's any connection to the Popular Front of India. More than 30 people have been injured in yesterday's ruckus, in which many vehicles have been broken and there was looting in many shops as well. BJP slammed those who resorted to violence, saying it's just a bit to disrupt the peaceful environment in the country.
Kanpur police have nabbed the mastermind of the violence that took place on Friday. We are being joined with the police commissioner of Kanpur itself, Mr. Vijay Kumar Meena ji. Sir, what are the latest developments in this very particular case? How many arrests have been made by the Kanpur police? And the mastermind, the Hashmi, which is being claimed by the police that he has been arrested. What are the latest development on that?
Yesterday, when the incident occurred, we were able to nab 18 of the people from the scene itself. After that, today we identified who was behind this, who did the conspiracy, or on the basis of that we have arrested 4. Hashmi is one of them. The other 3 people are Javed Ahmed Khan, वो प्रदेश चेयरमैन है MM जौहर फैंस एसोसिएशन का, मोहम्मद राइल, वो सदस्य MM जौहर फैंस एसोसिएशन का, मोहम्मद सुफियान.
Sir, we have been hearing that the links of PFI is also being investigated. You shared the information that the information has been shared with you that these guys were connected with PFI. Is this angle also being looked upon and being investigated?
Yes, this angle is being looked upon and we are still investigating it, and as soon as we find the link, accordingly we will take action, and we are not ruling out the link with PFI plus any other organization also, and we will take these culprits in remand, and after that we will ensure that if they have links, their bank accounts will be checked and action will be taken upon them accordingly.
Sir, I'm sure police must have done the background check of the accused. He has been named in the violence which erupted last year in CA and NRC. So what are the information that you can share on that particular case of this particular accused?
His name was there in the previous case also, and we are investigating his role in that. And presently, in this case, the preliminary investigations have showed that his role was there, and we are taking against that.
One very last question. The Sheher Qazi also claimed, and he's hoping that the police do not take action one-sided. We have seen that the accused have been arrested of one particular community. Are you also investigating the fact that the stone pelting was done from another community? Are we going to see any of the arrest from there itself?
Let me tell you one thing. We have enough videos, enough photographs, which show from which side the pelting started and how the whole incident took place. So we are doing scientific investigation in that, and accordingly we will take action against them.
Thank you so much for talking to India Today. This is Police Commissioner of Kanpur, Vijay Singh Meena, who says that the investigation is being done scientifically with all the facts. The videos are being looked upon and no bias is happening in this very particular investigation. With video journalist Gaurav, this is Simar Chawla in Kanpur for India Today.
The incident that happened yesterday, a few people tried to do some miscreant here, so they have been marked out, and the continuously teams are on to arrest them. We have got various videos as well as other electronic evidences from which we have marked out who were the people who were involved in it, and accordingly on the basis of those evidences the arrestings are being done. And quite a few arrestings have already been done and other will be done soon.
कुछ लोगों की कोशिश है कि साहब मोदी जी के शासनकाल में, योगी जी के शासनकाल में जो दंगे नहीं हो रहे हैं, फसाद नहीं हो रहे हैं, सौहार्द का माहौल है, उस रिकॉर्ड को कैसे तोड़ो। उस रिकॉर्ड को तोड़ने की जो सनक और साजिश है वो शुद्ध रूप से दिखाई पड़ती है। इसीलिए मैंने कहा कि ये जो दबंगों की सुपारी पर दंगों की साजिश है, ये शुद्ध रूप से उन लोगों की कारस्तानी है जो देश के सौहार्द को, देश की एकता को, देश के भाईचारे को नुकसान पहुंचाना चाहते हैं। और जो भी इसमें शामिल होगा उसको इसका भरपूर जो कानून है उसमें कार्रवाई कर रहा है और उनको उसकी सज़ा मिलेगी।
जो लोग इस कृत्य में शामिल हैं, ये एक साजिश का, बहुत बड़ी साजिश का हिस्सा है, क्योंकि वहाँ पर देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री, उत्तर प्रदेश के यशस्वी मुख्यमंत्री आदरणीय योगी जी और राष्ट्रपति जी सब मौजूद थे। और जिन्होंने भी इस घटना को अंजाम दिया है, हमारी सुरक्षा एजेंसियां लगातार उनको पकड़ धकड़ कर रही हैं और बड़ा खुलासा भी हम करेंगे और ऐसी नज़ीर पेश करेंगे कि उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर कोई भी व्यक्ति इस तरह की कार्य करने की साहस न कर सके।
मैं दोनों पक्षों से अपील करूंगा कि आपसी सौहार्द बना के रखें, आपसी मेल मिलाप रखें और दंगा से परहेज करें, इसलिए कि दंगा जो है दूरियां बढ़ाती हैं, नजदीकियां नहीं लाती हैं।
Those are the details that are emerging of the communal clashes that broke out in Kanpur yesterday. As you can see in those visuals, the situation, of course, was extremely tense as some of those persons you can see on your screens were pelting stones even at the police as well. The police has been making arrests, but it is expected that this investigation will widen further and there will be many more arrests that are made in this case as well. The police is also importantly investigating the PFI link to these clashes that broke out. My colleague Santosh Sharma is now joining me live from Kanpur. Santosh, पुलिस का कहना है कि उन्होंने कुछ अरेस्ट किए हैं और भी शायद अरेस्ट होंगे इस मामले में। PFI का जो लिंक सामने उभर कर आ रहा है उसके बारे में बताएं।
देखिए, पीएफआई के कनेक्शन को खंगाला जा रहा है। कानपुर के पुलिस कमिश्नर ने अब तक की इन्वेस्टिगेशन में ये जरूर कहा है कि पीएफआई के कनेक्शन को खारिज नहीं किया गया है, यानी कि इनको कुछ न कुछ ऐसे सुराग मिले हैं कि कानपुर में जो बलवा हुआ, जो उपद्रव हुआ, जो वायलेंस हुआ, उसके पीछे कहीं न कहीं पीएफआई का कनेक्शन है। वो भले ही जो मेन कॉन्स्पिरेटर थे हयात हाशमी, उसके फंडिंग के जरिए पीएफआई कनेक्शन स्टैब्लिश हो रहा हो, या उपद्रवियों को जो उनको फाइनेंस करने की बात सामने आ रही हो, ये तमाम अभी पार्ट ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन है। लेकिन इतना जरूर है कि पीएफआई के कनेक्शन पर कानपुर पुलिस जो वायलेंस हुआ कल जुमे की नमाज के बाद, उस पर वो जांच कर रही है। पीएफआई कनेक्शन एक मुख्य बिंदु है जिस पर कि कानपुर पुलिस की इन्वेस्टिगेशन फोकस्ड है। अभी तक इस पूरे मामले को लेकर के जो 4 लोग आज लखनऊ से गिरफ्तार किए गए, ये मेन कॉन्स्पिरेटर थे, जिसमें कि जो मेन हयात हाशमी है, उसके साथ के 3 अन्य पदाधिकारी हैं जो उसके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से जुड़े लोग हैं। उन तमाम 4 लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया गया है। जो अभी तक जानकारी मिल पा रही है कि वो लोग मेन कॉन्स्पिरेटर थे। इस पूरी जो हिंसा हुई, जो वायलेंस हुआ, जो बलवा हुआ कल जुमे की नमाज के बाद, उसके लिए वही जिम्मेदार बताया गया, जिसके बाद से कानपुर पुलिस ने इनको गिरफ्तार किया है। जी
संतोष, शुक्रिया इस जानकारी के लिए। We're slipping into a short break. Coming up next, Himantu Biswa Sharma hits back at Manish Sisodia. Stay tuned.
You are watching India Today. (2022's biggest crime news break).
Popular Punjabi rap star and Congress leader Sidhu Moosewala was shot dead on Sunday.
Terrifying gangster hit on a superstar.
Visuals of the star vehicle is a witness to the dastardly attack.
India Today, relentlessly first at every step.
Sidhu Moosewala was targeted by these 2 dreaded gangsters.
With Moosewala's family, fans, friends and foes.
Who is this man and what is the gang that he has run?
Banduk, Bishnoi, Badla and Bhagwan. No angle untouched. India watching Moosewala murder coverage. Only on India Today. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com or call 9999892171. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
You are watching India Today. You are watching India. You are watching India Today.
Breaking news that's coming in right now. Himanta Biswa Sharma has hit back at Manish Sisodia. He has said, and I quote, "Dear Manish Sisodia, let me refresh your memory from 2 years. You did not even reply to my tweet when my people from Assam needed your help during the COVID pandemic. Many phone calls even went unanswered in spite of the fact that we knew each other very well. Stop sermonizing and I will see you soon in Guwahati as you will face criminal defamation," unquote. Now, at a time when the entire country was facing the worst pandemic in over 10 years, in fact, in over 100 years, I beg your pardon, he goes on to say that Assam hardly had any PPE kits. My wife took the courage of coming forward and donating around 1,500 free of cost to the government to save lives. She didn't take a single penny, unquote. So Himanta Biswa Sharma there hitting out at Manish Sisodia after the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister held a press conference a short while ago and alleged that Himanta Biswa Sharma's kith and kin in fact benefited from PPE kit orders when he was Health Minister of Assam. My colleague Suryagni Roy is now joining me live on this. Suryagni, Himanta Biswa Sharma has now hit back and even threatened a defamation suit against Manish Sisodia.
Well, Pauline, absolutely, and that's what the tweet says, that, he will see him soon, he will see Sisodia soon in Guwahati after he, files a defamation criminal case against the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. But not only Manish Sisodia, but also the Trinamool Congress had attacked the Assam Chief Minister over this particular issue, wherein 1,500 of these PPE kits were sold by, Himanta Biswa Sharma's wife's company. But today he has tweeted and he's even shown the letter of appreciation by the government of India to his wife's company, stating that they really appreciate the move that Himanta's wife's company has taken. And he has also tweeted that these 1,500 of the PPE suits were completely for free, and it was a social service that Rinki Bhuya Sharma was doing, that is the wife of Himanta Biswa Sharma. However, there was this hot debate by the Aam Aadmi Party and the Trinamool Congress, who had alleged that Himanta's wife had made a lot of money by getting those tenders of the PPE when the country had struck COVID. Back to you, Paulomi.
Right. Suryagni, thank you so much for joining us with all of those details. That's a wrap on this bulletin. For all the latest news and updates, you can log on to indiatoday.in. You can also download the India Today app. Thanks for watching.
You are watching India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Everyone's busy finding what's trending. You're busy finding out why. India Today, for those who research before reacting. Download the India Today app now. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com or call 9999892171. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
You are watching India Today.
Hello and welcome to this special broadcast from Abu Dhabi. I am Dipali Patel and this is where we get you all the scoop from IFA 2022. Well, the second day was all about IFA Rocks 2022, which was hosted by Farah Khan and Apar Shakti. We are getting you all the highlights from our day 2 at Abu Dhabi, Yas Island. Right now, we are excited to meet all the stars, talk to them, and have fun at IFA Rocks 2022. I am at the Etihad Arena right now for IFA Rocks. We are all set for the green carpet and to meet all the stars live in action. Come on. I'm in Abu Dhabi, Yas Island right now at Etihad Arena. Behind me is the green carpet where celebrities are going to walk down to perform inside the hall.
Glitz, glamour and the green carpet. The 22nd edition of International Indian Film Academy Awards at Etihad Arena in Yas Island, Abu Dhabi returned with a bang after a gap of 2 years. And while the starry affair kick-started with the press conference on day 1, the next day witnessed more glamour and gala with renowned singers and artists gracing the IFA Rocks evening.
लगदी लाहौर दिया जिस हिसाब ना हस दिया कुड़ी दा पता करो केड़े पिंड दिया केड़े शहर दिया ओ लगदी लाहौर दिया ते आइफा ते आई लगदी है.
While some stole the night with their fashionable attires on the green carpet, others won hearts by humming their favorite songs before their performance at IFA Rocks.
है कोई परवाना यहाँ जो जान पे अपनी खेलेगा आशिकी में होके फना बाहों में शमा को ले लेगा चन दी चांदनी थल्ले बैठे दो गला करिए प्यार दिया आजा गल्ला करिए गल्ला करिए
तेरी मेरी गल्लाए होगी मशहूर करना कभी तू मुझे नजरों से दूर किथे चलिए तू किथे चलिए तू किथे चलिए हाय जान रहा है दिल तो जान दी है तू तेरे बिना मैं ना रहूं मेरे बिना तू किथे चलिए तू किथे चलिए मेरी जान जलिए.
That's not all. The evening also witnessed Bollywood celebrities getting candid on the green carpet.
देखा है, आपने देख लिया ना? Yes, I know them. Yes.
सबसे पहले आप बताइए कि आपको कौन से डिजाइनर का होना है?
देखिए मुझे उनका नाम बोलना नहीं आता, लेकिन मैं स्पेल कर सकती हूँ. Can you एक सेकंड? Can you call Tanya and ask her how to say it? Adnivik. Are you sure? Adnivik. Designer hai. My checklist, I don't really have one. I have fun, I think.
And if you had to walk down the green carpet with a Hollywood star,
Ryan Gosling.
if you had to walk with a Hollywood star on this green carpet, who would it be? Oh my God, so many. Timothy. Yeah, okay. Which dress are you wearing?
I'm wearing Michael Cinco. Yes. Yeah, oh yeah, yes. It's a nice designer. I love the silhouettes. I think it's really like sassy, and I love the attitude about it.
From Honey Singh, Guru Randhawa to Devi Sri Prasad, also known as DSP, to Neha Kakkar. The Indian music industry came together to set the stage on fire with their electrifying performances. And what followed was a fun-filled night with these gems showcasing their talent, winning over the crowd like no tomorrow. In fact, the starry night was concluded with Neha's powerful performance on her hit numbers. But what stole the show was her debut on IFA Rock stage with husband Rohanpreet Singh. The couple sang this Punjabi number, which got everyone at Etihad Arena excited. For the uninitiated, IFA Rocks Night was hosted by Farah Khan and Apar Shakti Khurana, and the main event will be co-hosted by superstar Salman Khan, Ritesh Deshmukh and Manish Paul.
We are at Etihad Arena, where IFA Rocks 2022 just got concluded in Abu Dhabi, Yas Island. 3 technical awards went to Sardar Udham, followed by 2 to Atrangi Ray. What's more, there were fabulous performances by Asis Kaur, Honey Singh, DSP, and even Neha Kakkar, who danced with her husband Rohanpreet. All the updates on IFA are going to be there on India Today. Stay tuned. Now, IFA Rocks 2022 was all about celebrating music. But at the same time, celebrities spoke to India Today about Sidhu Moosewala and late singer KK.
We lost many people, and losing musicians is very, very cruel, because every time they take you to another space. So I'm really sad about losing Lataji and KK and SP Balasubramaniam ji, and the list goes on. But I think the world is a cycle, you know. Keep going on.
I think that it's just thoroughly heartbreaking what happened. बहुत बुरा हुआ जो हुआ, और इसके अलावा मैं क्या कह सकती हूँ. It was extremely, I think, shocking and really bad, and may they rest in peace, and I'm really sorry to anybody that, you know, knew them, and my deepest condolences to their whole family.
इस साल और लास्ट साल बहुत सारे लॉसेस ऐसे हुए हैं. लता मैम उनका वो चले गए, बप्पी सर चले गए, बप्पी के सर का हो गया, सिद्धू भाई का हो गया. तो आई थिंक ये सबके लिए बहुत बड़ा लॉस है. और जो भगवान ने लिखा होता है आई थिंक वैसा होता है, और हम उसके आगे कुछ कर सकते नहीं हैं. बट मैं सबकी फैमिलीज़ को मेरी तरफ से मैं भगवान से प्रे करता हूँ कि उनकी फैमिली को भगवान हिम्मत दे और इसको मानने की शक्ति दे कि ऐसा हुआ है. बट वी ऑल लव देम फॉरएवर. आई थिंक उससे आर्टिस्ट को सारी दुनिया उनके रहते हुए जाने के बाद प्यार करती है, और वो करती रहेगी. हम भी ऐसे हैं.
बहुत दुख हुआ है दोनों की मौत का सुन के, और स्पेशली सिद्धू का तो बहुत शॉकिंग था. और सच में बताऊं कि 3-4 दिन तक दिमाग नहीं चला कि ये हो क्या गया सिद्धू के साथ. ही वॉज अ वेरी स्वीट बॉय. सो म्यूजिकली भी बहुत अमेजिंग आर्टिस्ट था, और बहुत बड़ा लॉस हुआ इंडस्ट्री को के एंड सिद्धू मूसेवाला से.
Superstar Salman Khan kick-started IFA 2022 with a press conference on day one. We bring you all the exclusive footage from the event only on India Today.
IFA Rocks hosts Apar Shakti Khurana and Farah Khan were joined by performers DSP,
Let's Rock IFA Rocks,
Aziz Kaur, Honey Singh, Dhwani Bhanushali, Zaraiz Khan, and Tanishq Bagchi. They all shared their excitement about performing at IFA. Here's a sneak peek into what all they will be singing. IFA main award event host Salman Khan was joined by Ritesh Deshmukh and Manish Paul, and performers Shahid Kapoor, Tiger Shroff, Sara Ali Khan, Ananya Pandey, Nora Fatehi and Divya Khosla Kumar. Shahid Kapoor is expected to pay tribute to Bappi Da by performing on his songs. Also, IFA 2022 will be Ananya Pandey's first ever stage performance. With Dipali Patel in Yas Island, Abu Dhabi, Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
During the press conference on day one, Shahid Kapoor revealed everything about his performance at the IFA 2022. And guess what? He's paying tribute to the late legendary singer Bappi Lahiri.
Shahid Kapoor, who will be performing at the IFA 2022 at Etihad Arena in Yas Island, Abu Dhabi, is set to pay tribute to the late legendary singer and composer Bappi Lahiri. During a press conference on 2nd June, the actor revealed his special performance that he will dedicate to Bappi Lahiri, who passed away on 16th February due to obstructive sleep apnea.
Disco dancer,
I don't think any of us can forget Mithunda dancing to that song, and a lot of his songs, Tamma Tamma, like amazing stuff. So I'm fortunate to be performing to his songs.
Shahid, who last performed in New York for IFA, also expressed his excitement about returning to the stage after a long time.
I love performing live. I think the best connection between an artist and the audience can always be live. So I'm very excited to be dancing not to my songs. I've not been allowed to perform to any of my songs. I'm doing a special kind of tribute for Bapida and his song. So I'm excited for that and looking forward to that.
IFA 2022 will kickstart the mega celebrations on 3rd June with IFA Rocks hosted by Farah Khan Kunder and Apar Shakti Khurana, and will feature performances by Devi Shri Prasad, Hani Singh, Neha Kakkar, Dhwani Banushali, Zehran S. Khan and Assis Kaur. IFA Awards will take place on 4th June and will be hosted by Bollywood superstar Salman Khan, Ritesh Deshmukh and Manish Paul, with electrifying performances by Ananya Pandey and Tiger Shroff, among others. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
Honey Singh is back with a bang, not just for his performance at IFA 2022, but also for 10 new releases this year. Take a look at this press conference.
Yo-Yo Honey Singh, who is set to perform at IFA Rocks, revealed that he will be releasing 10 songs this year.
काफी वक्त गायब रहा सीन से, लेकिन इस साल तकरीबन 10 गाने लेकर आ रहा हूं.
Admitting the fact that he has been absent from the scene from quite some time, the singer said, "I have not been in the scene lately, but I would love to make an announcement that I will be coming with 10 new songs in 2022. But for my performance at IFA, I will begin with my old songs, and my favorite is Love Dose."
मेरा फेवरेट सॉन्ग है लगती मैनू जीवे अंबरां दी क्वीन, मिठियां गल्लां करे कुड़ी नमकीन, पतला जा लक तेरा लक नू संभाले, 1 in a million लगदी कमाले, होया बुरा हाली, तू आजा मेरे क्लोज, मिलता ना मौका रोज, I want you my baby, मुझे दे दे love dose. Designer.
Honey Singh also promoted his latest song, which is titled Designer, at the IFA 2022 press conference. The singer had collaborated with Guru Randhawa for the track, which features Divya Khosla.
बेबी मेरा हार्ट होता है ब्रेक, मेरे गाने छोड़ जब तो सुनती है ड्रेक, जब लेता है डिजाइनर तेरी कमर का नाप, सांप लगे मुझे उसका इंची टेप, हर नए दिन नए शॉपिंग का प्लान, कभी दिल्ली कभी बॉम्बे कभी तो मिलान, 2022 की तो जीना तमान, छोड़ भी दे लेगी क्या बच्चे की जान, डिजाइनर.
During the press conference, Honey Singh also revealed that he will be coming up with a new song titled Baby I'm in Love with You. Salman wants him to feature in it too.
Right, Salman has opened, he said he wants another track with you as well. Can she take your word for it, Salman? 100%, there you go, another track done. Big announcement here, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Salman. Yo-Yo Honey Singh, you know.
That's not all. Salman Khan, who will be hosting IFA 2022 on June 4th, indulged in some banter at the media event. He said he wants to take Divya Khosla on board for a new song, to which Farah Khan said she will choreograph it, and Honey Singh joined in and was quick to reply that he has a song ready.
We've already got the making of a song here. Song is ready. The song's ready. Salman, the song is also ready.
With Dipali Patel from Yas Island, Abu Dhabi, Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
Now, Uantavan Srivalli brainchild, Devi Sri Prasad, aka DSP, was the first-time performer at the IFA 2022. We got to speak to him ahead of his performance on day one, listening to this exclusive conversation with him where he spoke at length about his late friend KK.
नजरें मिलते ही नजरों से नजरों को चुराए कैसी ये हया तेरी जो तू पलकों को झुकाए रब जो पोशीदा है उसको निहारे तू और जो गर्विदा है उसको टाले तू तेरी झलक शर्फी श्रीवल्ली नैना मदक बर्फी तेरी झलक शर्फी
DSP, who's riding high on success with his songs. DSP, you're performing at IFA Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, calm down.
How is the feeling?
Yeah, the feeling is great. I'm really loving it. I love IFA, I love Abu Dhabi also. So they're like two loves together.
What is your success mantra?
Success mantra, just love what you're doing.
And what all songs, if you could give us some sneak peek into your songs that you're performing?
Okay, so I'm going to perform Dhinka Chika, City Mar, Srivalli, and Bolega Sara.
Antava mama.
So mix of all this stuff, but the fun of it is I made the tracks, I tailor-made the tracks and reorchestrated the whole thing, especially for IFA. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and all the songs that you know are going to sound different from what you know earlier. So I'm mixing a lot of stuff into it.
Your songs are not only popular in South but also North. What do you make of these language war that is happening currently? North South divide, because you have been singing songs and people are loving it.
I think, like I said, music has no language. So as long as you put in some lyrics, you can't even define to which language music belongs to. As long as it sounds good to ears, I think any music is good music. So but when you put in lyrics, I think you have to put it in such a way that it relates to the nativity of that respective language. So as long as you can do that successfully, I think everything will be a hit.
Music industry के लिए ये साल बहुत भारी थे. पहले लता जी नहीं रहे, उसके बाद भक्ति जी
Now yesterday KK, that's really saddening. So I don't know, it's scary and it's so heartbreaking, and KKG was like very close to me, and he had some of my biggest blockbusters, and he was such a down-to-earth, nice person, such a talented singer yesterday. And the unbelievable fact is that day before yesterday, 2 days back, I had my show in New York, and people screamed for a few songs, 2-3 songs, and all the songs happened to be KK Sir's and my combination. One song is Feel My Love, then another song is Chaile Chaile. So I sang all the songs on KK Sir's behalf, and we thought of him. And one day after that, I hear this news, and it's like, sometimes, knowingly or unknowingly, we think of the person, and then it was so heartbreaking to me.
And even Sidhu Moosewala, very unfortunate.
Very young, very talented, and very unfortunate. So like you said, the very bad time, I guess, for the Indian music scene. We've lost a lot of gems.
DSP, before I leave you, I will want you to sing 2-3 lines from your song, your favorite song.
Okay, so let me sing Bolega Sara, Bolega Sara, Dinka Chika, Dinka Chika, Dinka Chika, Dinka Chika. So everybody be there at IFA Rocks. Let's rock IFA Rocks.
IFA 2022 returned after 2 long years, but Salman Khan, who is the host of this year, he has completed 20 years of his association. Take a look at this journey. 2022 marks the 22nd edition of the International Indian Film Academy, and Bollywood Sultan Salman Khan is all set to host the Grand Award show.
The super hot, the super happening, the superstar.
The superstar has had 20 years of association with IFA. Over the years, fans have witnessed Salman Khan's mesmerizing performances and his association with IFA. The organizers on the occasion shared a sneak peek into Salman Khan's journey over the years. The International Indian Film Academy Awards are returning to the UAE for the first time since 2006, with Abu Dhabi playing host in first week of June. To be held at the Etihad Arena on Yas Island, the IFA Weekend and Awards will feature performances by some of the biggest Indian stars across 2 days on June 3rd and 4th, with many of the top films and actors of the past year to be honoured on the second night. Entertainment Bureau, India Today. That's all we could pack in the show today, but stay tuned to India Today for all the IFA updates and scoop. Meanwhile, I will enjoy the barbecue. Bollywood's biggest night returns. After a 2-year pause, it's back with a bang.
Welcome to IFA!
I'm Dipali Patel, and you will be joining me at the heart of the IFA extravaganza in Abu Dhabi. The stars are all aligned on India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Everyone's busy finding what's trending. You're busy finding out why. India Today, for those who research before reacting. Download the India Today app now. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com or call 9999892171.
watching India Today.
Good evening and a warm welcome to India Today. I'm Paulami Saha and here are the headlines we're tracking at the top of the hour. Horrific incident of a 17-year-old's alleged rape in Hyderabad has sent shockwaves. 3 among the 5 accused have been arrested. State BJP Chief Bandi Sanjay writes to Chief Minister KCR, demands a CBI probe. The Mandir Masjid controversy peaks in Karnataka. Massive protest by Hindu outfits, VHP and Bajrang Dal erupted in Srirangapatna, Karnataka, with the Hindu outfits chanting the Chalisa. Section 144 imposed and massive security deployment on ground. Singer Moosewala's parents meet Union Home Minister Amit Shah in Chandigarh. The father rubbishes all speculations of joining politics, says his son's fire has not yet cooled down and it hurts when such discussions happen. Hindu seers now wade into the Varanasi Gyanvapi dispute. A disciple of Shankaracharya Swami Swarupanand Saraswati is on a hunger strike after he was put on house arrest for offering prayers at a claimed Shivling in Gyanvapi. Heavy security deployed at Gyanvapi. Massive war of words between AAP's Manish Sisodia and Assam Chief Minister. Sisodia levels corruption charges against Himanta Biswa Sharma. Assam CM threatens Sisodia of criminal defamation. Massive fire in a Hapur chemical factory in UP kills 9 workers and injures several others. Chief Minister Yogi orders probe over the accident. Prime Minister condoles the loss of lives. It's an exclusive image of the Hyderabad accused that we're bringing to you right now. It's the first image of the 18-year-old who allegedly raped a minor. All 5 accused have been identified, but only 3 have been arrested. This is an image of one of the accused. He's 18 years old, and we're of course bringing you that exclusive image which has been accessed by our colleague on the ground. Exclusive first image of the Hyderabad rape accused. Remember, a gruesome case of gang rape has come to light from Hyderabad that has sent shockwaves across the country. A minor girl has alleged that she was gang raped by 5 persons on Saturday night when they picked her up from outside a club in Hyderabad's Jubilee Hills, and it was then that for the next 2 hours they raped her in that car, is the allegation that she's made. A complaint was filed initially under outrage to modesty, and then it was translated into a gang rape FIR. The alleged rape of a 17-year-old girl in Hyderabad has sent shockwaves across the country. Telangana BJP Chief Bandi Sanjay Kumar has written to Chief Minister KCR and demanded a CBI probe in the matter. He also slammed KCR government and said that the government and the police are acting in favour of the accused. The BJP has also released images of the alleged victim and accused. Meanwhile, Hyderabad Congress, Youth Congress in fact, held a protest outside the DGP's office and demanded the resignation of Telangana Home Minister Mohammad Mahmood Ali. Several activists were detained by the cops. Telangana Home Minister has finally broken his silence on the matter. The minister said that cops are closely working on arresting the other accused. The alleged rape happened last Saturday. The minor girl went to a club for a party and was allegedly gang raped by a group inside a car after she stepped out. The police have identified 5 accused in the case, out of which 3 are minors. 3 accused have been arrested so far in the case. India Today has also accessed CCTV footage from outside the pub on the fateful day. A group of boys and girls can be seen outside the pub. India Today, in fact, spoke exclusively to BJP MLA M. Raghunandan Rao, who released the alleged pictures of the accused. He alleged that the police only acted hastily and gave a clean chit to an MLA's son after Minister KTR tweeted. Listen in.
You are alleging that in these particular photographs, one of the MLA's son, he is involved. He is visible sexually exploiting that girl.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. Yesterday, the DCP, without going properly into the investigation, straight away, how can he come within 2-3 hours before the media, and how he can complete the investigation? When the complaint is, incident happened on 28th, complaint is lodged on 31st, you have not taken any action till 2nd, till 3rd afternoon also you have not started the investigation. On 3rd afternoon, when we raised the allegations, you came, and when KTR tweeted it, you came and you said that you arrested some of the people. How fast this investigation can be completed? And one more allegation, what he said is, whatever the allegations made by the MLA are false, no MLA son is involved. This is not fair on the part of the police. That is the reason why we have to open the evidence to the public.
Now, after outrage over the alleged rape case, Telangana Home Minister has finally spoken out. Minister Mahmood Ali said cops are closely working on arresting the accused and there's a delay due to the involvement of minors. Listen in.
कोई भी कंप्लेन कैसा रहता है, कंप्लेन के हिसाब से एक्शन लिया जाता। कंप्लेन लेने के बाद जैसा पहले कंप्लेन आया उसके बाद दूसरी तरह एक्शन लिया जाता, सेकंड कंप्लेन के बाद दूसरी तरह एक्शन लिया जा रहा। इसमें कहीं कोताही नहीं हो रही और तेलंगाना की पुलिस बगैर किसी प्रेशर के काम करने वाली है। तो तेलंगाना पुलिस है, जो भी जिसके अंदर जो भी खाती करार जाते हैं, पुलिस कभी भी उन्हें छोड़ती नहीं है। पुलिस नहीं, क्योंकि उसमें माइनर बच्चे होने की वजह से एक आध दिन आगे पीछे हुआ, और हमारी पुलिस बराबर स्ट्रिक्टली काम करने वाली पुलिस तेलंगाना पुलिस है। एडवांस ज़माना आ चुका है, कोई गलतियाँ हो रही तो उसका बहुत दुख है और पुलिस ज़रूर कंट्रोल करेगी।
So, based on the technical evidences, based on the CC footage analysis, based on the CDR analysis, our officers, they were able to identify 5 persons. That is corroborating with the statement of the victim, and within 48 hours we could identify the accused, and today we have arrested one of the accused. His name is Saduddin Malik, 18 years, he is a major. His father's name is Malik Gulam Saji and he is a resident of Kupalkuda of Hyderabad.
हमको इस मामले में शिकायत मिली है, हमने वहाँ के डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को संपर्क साधने की कोशिश की है, हम वहाँ नोटिस कर रहे हैं और इसकी एक पूरी डिटेल्ड एक्शन टेकन रिपोर्ट मंगाएंगे। इसमें कई पहलू हैं जिन पे जांच होना चाहिए, जैसे कैसे पब ने नाबालिगों को अलाउ किया, कैसे उनको नशेली चीज़ों का सेवन करने दिया गया और उसके बाद के जो सर्कमस्टेंसेस रहे, उन सभी पहलुओं पर आयोग जांच करेगा और निश्चित रूप से इसमें जो लोग भी दोषी हैं उनको सजा मिलना सुनिश्चित हो, ये तय करने का काम आयोग करेगा।
In all pubs, young girls are going. If such crimes are taken place, it is highly insecurity and also it's a women's safety, women's rights, adolescent girls rights issue. There should be a serious focus on this, and governments pub in all pubs why minors are allowed. All these should be questioned here.
तेलंगाना की सरकार वो पूरे देश में, पूरी दुनिया में प्रचार कर रही है कि उनकी सरकार जो है वो हिंदुस्तान में सबसे अच्छी राज्य सरकार है, और इस तरह की हरकतें हों, जघन्य अपराध हों, इंसानियत को शर्मसार करने वाली घटनाएं हों, उससे ज़्यादा शर्मनाक हो नहीं सकता। ऐसे लोगों के ख़िलाफ़ हमें तो लगता था कि और अगर कितने भी पहुंच के लोग हैं, कितने भी ऊंचे लोग हैं, कितने भी रसूखदार लोग हैं, उनके ख़िलाफ़ कार्रवाई तत्काल सरकार को करनी चाहिए, देर की है।
Congress senior leader Renuka Chaudhary, she was detained yesterday, ma'am. You went to meet Home Minister of Telangana. Why you was detained?
Well, that's a question you should ask the state government, and you must ask the Honorable Home Minister, because he is supposed to be Home Minister, which means that he addresses law and order situations. In this city, in this state, unfortunately, there is no law and there is only disorder. So as a citizen, I didn't even go as a Congress leader or anything. I went as a worried mother, as a woman, and as a citizen. It's my right to approach the Home Minister. I went there. I didn't go with 10 people. There was a Mahila Congress leader with me. And we went to approach and we requested, saying, please ask him that we want to speak with him. So the result is that the entire police force is there to protect the Home Minister from 2 women. And that is the condition of this state government. That the women who go to approach them, they're afraid of. And they harass us. and have us arrested and detained and all this. They tried their stunts. And then they don't implement law and order. Today in this state, the state government does not give protocol or protection to the lady governor herself.
It's an India Today exclusive. Himanta Biswa Sharma, Assam Chief Minister, speaks to India Today on Manish Sisodia's charges. Listen in to the Assam Chief Minister, who's responded to the charges made by Manish Sisodia. Himanta Biswa Sharma speaks exclusively to India Today. Mr. Sharma, thank you so much for speaking to India Today, sir. Manish Sisodia just held a press conference right now, sir, and he basically said that your family and those associated with your family benefited from PPE orders that were given by the Assam government when you were health minister, sir. How do you react to those charges, sir?
First of all, as you know, we are in the extreme northeastern part of the country. We struggle for every PPE kit at that point of time. Roads were closed, air was halted, train service were closed. So anybody who has gave PPE kit at that point of time to Assam, we are eternally grateful to them. So far as my family is concerned, my family has donated PPE kits to government of Assam at that point of time, and no business transaction, whatever has happened, and not a single penny has been paid to any of the company or individual who is part of my family.
Okay, so the allegation, of course, it was part of a news report which basically said that your wife's company, JCB Industries, was given orders of PPE kits and they, in fact, sold it to the government for exorbitant prices.
I am very sorry to say, in spite of Assam government having acknowledged that this was a gift and we are thankful, we are grateful to you, that later already my wife has gave in her tweet response, and you can make any kind of account checking whether that company has been paid a single paisa from the state government. If anybody can prove that, I'll be very, very happy. People should not show half facts on social media or in the news. They should have courage to show the full facts. The fact remains, as CM of Assam, I am once again clarifying that my wife has not gotten a single paisa out of any supply order from the state of Assam.
Okay, and sir, you have also, of course, mentioned about the fact that you did not receive much help from the Delhi government when you were pursuing them about...
Delhi government that time I made many requests to Manish Sisodia to help people of Assam who were lying in different hospital. I called him, he did not pick up my call. I tweeted him, I tweeted to CM Delhi, they did not respond. And at the end of the day, I have to supply remdesivir injection to the citizen of Delhi. Citizen of Assam living in Delhi from Guwahati. So that was the situation. Now, also if you look at the facts, that Manish Sisodia has also purchased PPE kit without tender, and rates, whatever is coming out in the news media, it's actually much higher than the so-called supply order they are circulating. So let us not go into argument. As a Chief Minister of Assam, with full sense of responsibility, with full sense of authority, I want to clarify that any of my family member has not done or has not get a single paisa also from NHM as far as any supply order is concerned.
Okay, just one final question, sir. You've also said that you would be pursuing defamation charges against Mr. Sisodia?
Definitely, because when he has tried to defame my career, now he has to prove that whether any money has been paid to my wife. He has to prove, and I am sure that Assam government will also officially clarify in the court of law that my wife has not any point of time got any amount against supply of PPE kit or any other supply from the state government.
Okay. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party has come out all guns blazing against the BJP in the backdrop of Delhi Health Minister Surendra Singh's arrest by the Enforcement Directorate in a money laundering case. AAP's Manish Sisodia has now levelled a big charge against the BJP, claiming that Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma and his family was involved in a PPE kit scam. Sisodia claimed that Surendra Singh was arrested on false grounds and is innocent until proven otherwise. But he questioned the BJP's own silence on the corruption allegations surfacing against Himanta Biswa Sarma. Reports say that PPE kits were purchased at a higher price than the market price, and contracts for these kits were awarded to the Assam Chief Minister's next of kin. Himanta Biswa Sarma hit out at Sisodia's allegations, claiming his wife donated PPE kits without charging any money, and has vowed criminal defamation case against Sisodia.
ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी के बड़े नेता, एक राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री भी हैं, और इन्होंने जो कारनामा किया है, मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेताओं को सलाह देना चाहूँगा कि भ्रष्टाचार इसे कहते हैं। अपने नेताओं की करतूत देखें और समझें कि भ्रष्टाचार क्या होता है। आपकी पार्टी के बड़े नेता और मुख्यमंत्री ने, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के मुख्यमंत्री ने अपनी पत्नी के कंपनियों को सरकारी खरीद के ठेके दिए हैं, अपने बेटे की कंपनियों को, अपने बेटे के पार्टनर्स की कंपनियों को सरकारी खरीद के ठेके दिए हैं। ये होता है भ्रष्टाचार। जब कोई चुना हुआ मुख्यमंत्री या मंत्री अपने पत्नी के कंपनी को या अपने बेटे के पार्टनर की कंपनियों को सरकारी खरीद के ठेके दे, तो वो इस देश के कानून में भ्रष्टाचार होता है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी ये बताए कि वो उसकी नजर में वो भ्रष्टाचार है कि नहीं है।
We procured from 35 farms during first lockdown, and from 9 farms we procured sanitizers, and it was a decision by a committee of specialists formed by the government in nomination basis. Not a single PP kit were misused. Not a single anomalies are there. I am so confident.
Hundreds clashed in Kanpur after a Muslim organization called to shut down shops at the Parade Market, one of the biggest wholesale markets in the city. The two groups came to blows at the city's Parade Chowk, pelting stones at one another and at the police. Several rounds of gunshots were fired too. Cops have arrested 24 people and have identified 8 more till now after raiding overnight, and massive police deployment has been made at the violence-hit area. The main accused, Hayat Zafar Hashmi, has been arrested by the police from Lucknow. The police has claimed that Hashmi gathered the people to protest by conducting a Facebook Live. The police also probing if there's any connection to the Popular Front of India. More than 30 people have been injured in yesterday's ruckus, in which many vehicles have been broken. There was looting in many shops as well. BJP slammed those who resorted to violence, saying it's just a bid to disrupt the peaceful environment in the country.
Today we identified who was behind this, who did the conspiracy, or on the basis of that we have arrested 4. Hashmi is one of them. The other 3 people are Javed Ahmed Khan, वो प्रदेश चेयरमैन है MM जौहर फैंस एसोसिएशन का, मोहम्मद राइल, वो सदस्य MM जौहर फैंस एसोसिएशन का, मोहम्मद सुफियान।
कुछ लोगों की कोशिश है कि साहब मोदी जी के शासनकाल में, योगी जी के शासनकाल में जो दंगे नहीं हो रहे हैं, फसाद नहीं हो रहे हैं, सौहार्द का माहौल है, उस रिकॉर्ड को कैसे तोड़ो। उस रिकॉर्ड को तोड़ने की जो सनक और साजिश है वो शुद्ध रूप से दिखाई पड़ती है। इसीलिए मैंने कहा कि ये जो दबंगों की सुपारी पर दंगों की साजिश है, ये शुद्ध रूप से उन लोगों की कारस्तानी है जो देश के सौहार्द को, देश की एकता को, देश के भाईचारे को नुकसान पहुंचाना चाहते हैं। और जो भी इसमें शामिल होगा उसको इसका भरपूर जो कानून है उसमें कार्रवाई कर रहा है और उनको उसकी सज़ा मिलेगी।
My colleague Simar Chawla is now joining me live from Kanpur on this. Simar, given the investigation that has happened so far in this case, do you see the net widening further as far as the investigation is concerned over the coming days? Simar, are you able to hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, Simar, my question was, given the investigation that has happened so far in this case, do you see the net widening further vis-a-vis the investigation over the coming days?
Well, as far as the investigation is concerned, it's not only restricted to just one aspect. We have been seeing that the statements have been coming from the senior police officials that there are several links which are being investigated upon, especially the link with the PFI. We have been hearing the statements from the police commissioner. He has confirmed that the information has been given to them regarding some of the transactions or some of the links between the main accused, the mastermind of this case, and also the PFI. Now, this is being investigated. Not only the possibility of connection with the PFI is ruled out, but also a serious investigation has been launched in this particular aspect. And as far as the investigation is concerned, we have been told that the bank statements of these particular individuals will be checked, and also a 14-day custody has been sought just because their phones will be checked, the bank accounts statements will be checked, so that they can just get an idea that whether any other transaction happened between the PFI or these particular accused. So this is the update as of now. Some of the accused has been given the police custody for 14 days. The main accused, Zafar Hashmi, who was arrested today, will be presented in the court tomorrow at 12. And after the police is able to get this custody for 14 days, then only we can expect some more facts to be unearthed.
Okay. So Simar there, of course, following all the developments that are happening in that investigation, which is currently underway in Kanpur. Thank you so much for joining us. We're slipping into a very short break. Coming up on the other side, the Mandir Masjid controversy peaks in Karnataka. Massive protests erupt. A detailed report on the other side.
You are watching India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com or call 9999892171. India's #1 political reporter.
Defines what seems to be happening, vendetta politics. कोई दूध के से धुला हुआ नहीं है.
Unmatched eye, unmatched experience.
The world has changed. My black hair has become grey as well.
And with unmatched passion for the story.
Do not monopolize the conversation.
When it's 100% pure prime time. It's News Today with Rajdeep Sardesai. Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Only on India Today TV. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
You are watching India Today. You are watching India Today.
The Mandir Masjid row escalates in Karnataka. BHP and Bajrang Dal workers chanted Hindu slogans and threatened to perform puja inside the Jamia Masjid. They claim that the masjid was built on a demolished Hanuman Mandir and have demanded a Gyan Vapi-like survey of this mosque. Here's a report.
Protests, hangama, heavy security deployment, and Jai Shri Ram chants. The Mandir Masjid face-offs are spreading in Karnataka. The latest flare-up is in Srirangapatna. The Vishwa Hindu Parishad and Bajrang Dal workers took to the streets, threatening to perform puja inside the Jamia Masjid.
ಸರ್ ನಮ್ಮ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ನಾವು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ಗೌರವಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಕಾಲದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಸಂವಿಧಾನಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿ ಏನು ನಮ್ಮ ತೊಂದರೆ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹಿಂದೂಗಳಿಗೆ ಮೋಸ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ನಿಂತಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
They claim the masjid was built by Tipu Sultan after demolishing a Hanuman Mandir.
I'm outside the Jamia Masjid Mosque here at Srirangapatna in Mandya district, and here you can see the mosque that was built somewhere between 1786 to 1787 by Mysore ruler Tipu Sultan, and here you can see the mosque that is currently under controversy. Now, right-wing outfits say that the mosque has been built on the ruins of an old Hanuman temple, which they allege was destroyed by Tipu Sultan during his reign. Now, the right-wing outfits say and demand that they would want the temple to be built once again.
Hindu outfits are demanding a Gyan Vapi-like survey of the mosque to unearth the truth.
हम लोग 15 दिन पहले ही से डिस्ट्रिक्ट कमिश्नर को हमने रिक्वेस्ट किया, जो अंदर है उन लोग को बाहर निकालिए, उसको ज्ञानवापी जैसा मस्जिद जैसे वहाँ पे सर्वे बनने का है. हम लोग उन लोग के लिए बस 15 दिन से 20 दिन तक उन लोग को कालावकाश दिया था, लेकिन हमारे के लिए वो लोग जो क्या है हम लोग को रिस्पेक्ट नहीं दिया.
VHP and Bajrang Dal members have come outside Srirangapatna Taluk here, and they've assembled here to protest against the alleged masjid that has been there in Srirangapatna. They've been urging that the survey be conducted similar to the Gyanvapi mosque at the Jamia Masjid in Srirangapatna.
Prohibitory orders are in force in anticipation of escalation of protests.
You all can see Srirangapatna city is totally peaceful now, and it is going to be peaceful further in the coming days also. We have taken adequate necessary arrangements. We have made arrangements, and we have taken necessary precautions also.
The Shri Ram Sena, a Hindutva group, has slammed the BJP government in the state for stopping the protesters.
ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಕಾರಣ ವಿವಾದ ಕಾರಣ ಇವತ್ತು ಆರ್ಕಿಯಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟಿನ ಅಲ್ಲಿಯ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ. ಸೊ ಅವರನ್ನು ಹದ್ದು ಬಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿಡದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ವಿಶ್ವ ಹಿಂದೂ ಪರಿಷತ್ ಬಜರಂಗದಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು ತಪ್ಪು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು.
He said that there are evidence of pond and Ganesh idol inside the Jamia mosque.
ನಮಗೆ ಹಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಅದು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣಿ ಇದೆ, ಇವತ್ತಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಾವಿ ಇದೆ, ಇವತ್ತಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಗಣಪತಿಯ ಮೂರ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಇವತ್ತು.
The right-wing groups defied restrictions to take out a protest march from Kuvempu Circle in Mandya to the disputed mosque.
The showdown between the police, BHP and Bajrang Dal workers ended in a peaceful manner today. But the issue of controversy surrounding the Jamia Masjid in Mandya is far from over, and both the administration and also the police have a huge task ahead in protecting and also trying to finding a solution for this issue as early as possible. With video journalist Shivmurthy, this is Karthik for India Today.
And that's a wrap on this bulletin. For all the latest news and updates, you can log on to indiatoday.in. You can also download the India Today app. Thanks for watching.
You are watching India Today.
We can make NFTs of all the monuments we have, and we can create those NFTs, and we can actually create an NFT of Taj Mahal, and just imagine what hype it will have. And Taj Mahal can be bought as an NFT without giving the ownership right of the Taj Mahal, obviously. Taj Mahal, Lal Killa in the metaverse. So imagine in the country today, we only get 300 crores from all these monuments, from tourism. Imagine if we put all these monuments on metaverse through NFTs, we can earn another 300 crores in there. You know, in India, 25% of the Supreme Court cases, are of land disputes. Imagine if you can put all these land records through NFT, these disputes will come down and a lot of important time of the courts will be saved.
You are watching
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of World Today. Our focus this week is the Russia-Ukraine war, which marked its 100th day on June 3rd. While the world and the people affected by the war are seeking peace, a resolution does not seem in sight. In the next half hour, we'll take you through the past 100 days of the war. A war beyond a month in these times borders on untenable, unsustainable. But the Russia-Ukraine war has entered its fourth month and an end does not seem in sight. Did Putin underestimate Ukraine, or has the West miscalculated the punitive measures against Russia, which has done precious little to stop the war? Meanwhile, Russia has captured territory beyond the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine, and if winter set in, reclaiming territories would become near impossible.
"100 days of a deadly war which has led to millions rendered homeless. Cities after cities destroyed, and a divided world on how to handle Russia. For the people who have families on both sides of the border, the war wounds run very deep, and it will take a very long time to heal. What was a special military operation evolved into a bloody war of attrition, with no winners and none vanquished.
When the opponent disappeared, both the Warsaw Treaty disappeared and the Soviet Union disappeared, they decided that they will move the line of defense eastward. And they did this 5 times without explaining against whom they're going to defend themselves.
But the world found a war hero and a villain.
You're dealing every day with Vladimir Putin. I mean, look at what he's done to these people. What does it make you think? He's a butcher.
Russia had done the groundwork before invading Ukraine. It all began on 21st February 2022, when the State Duma of Russia passed a bill to officially recognize the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic and Luhansk People's Republic of the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine as independent states. President Putin signed the decree along with separatist leaders of Donetsk and Luhansk and further signed agreements on friendship, cooperation and assistance with the republics. On 24th February, Russia invaded Ukraine after DPR and LPR sought assistance from Moscow to demilitarize and denazify the region.
In this axis, the occupiers have concentrated the most significant activity for now. They created a bloodbath there and are trying to destroy everything. Everything alive. Literally, no one has destroyed Donbas in the way that the Russian troops are doing now. I'm grateful to everyone, all our warriors who hold positions and have the bravery to counterattack.
But Putin has gone beyond the Donbas. and the timelines have shifted. What was supposed to be a quick shock and awe invasion has gone on for more than 4 months. Beyond the Donbass, Russia continues to conduct long-range missile strikes against infrastructure across Ukraine, the UK's Ministry of Defence said. Putin failed to topple Zelensky's regime, putting in place a pro-Russia leader like Medvedchuk. Hard negotiations to seek recognition of DPR and LPR as independent states. Negotiate recognition of Crimea as part of Russia. Crippling sanctions. Europe weaning off Russia gas. Finland and Sweden applying for NATO membership.
In the last few weeks, there were unlawful measures taken against Russia by the number of Western countries to freeze Russian assets. By doing this, the collective West has undermined the reliability of their currencies.
But on sanctions, Moscow is still holding out. In fact, the real test of stopping Russian gas imports will be seen during winters. Many European nations like Hungary, Slovakia are yet to find alternatives to Russian gas, and until that happens, many would seek exemption. The war has also led to severe food shortage and rise in food prices. For Zelensky, who dared Russia with NATO membership, there have been major failures too. Zelensky could not secure NATO membership. He couldn't secure EU membership. Assured the nation of NATO intervention, but none came. Delays in getting military assistance from the West. Europe became a divided house. No consensus on how to tackle Russia. Lost major swaths of land beyond Donbass. The core of the Russia-Ukraine war is the Donbass region. A region that has seen conflict for the past 8 years since the 2014 Euromaidan conflict, an uprising that was the beginning of the pro-West regime in Kyiv, with pro-Russia parts of Ukraine demanding separate state. Donbass will remain a conflict zone for a long time to come. But the question would remain about the other parts of eastern Ukraine, which are yet to be reclaimed by Kyiv. With nuclear threats from Russia, the two sides could be pushed back to the negotiating table.
Joining us now is the German envoy to India, Ambassador Walter Lindner. Many thanks, sir, for joining us here on India Today. Now, as we mark 100 days of the Russia-Ukraine war, where do you see the war headed? West and Europe have maybe 3 months more before winters set in. So what do you think is going to happen, and how are you going to really handle Russia?
Well, I think it's important to commemorate today 100 days, because 100 days is a number, but it's also every day is a civilian victim. What is happening after, what's the resume of 3 months or 100 days? You have tens of thousands of soldiers dead on both sides. Then you have civilian victims, more than 5,000 on the Ukrainian side. Then you have more than 8 million people fleeing. Then you have a world economy which is now suffering through that, inflation, oil prices, and then you have hunger and food shortages in Africa, just because Putin doesn't let the warehouses of wheat by the Ukrainians, he doesn't let the ships anchor there. So you have and you have a militarization of international politics, where there's a kind of a race now to spend more and more money for tanks and for heavy weaponry, and this is all going into a very bad direction. So I hope there's not another 3 months, as you mentioned, to suffer through this, because every day we're talking people dying, and only one person, and this is Mr. Putin, who has started this brutal war. He can change this. He can, by order of like this, stop it. He doesn't stop it, so he's responsible for each and every of this damage.
Ambassador Lindner, you make a very important point when you said militarization of the gas economy, but also there's another phrase that keeps being used very often, which is weaponizing heat. How do you propose the energy requirements of Europe and Germany be fulfilled, with Russia announcing that they're going to stop supplying gas, or for that matter, Germany now looking at banning Russian gas altogether?
Well, I mean, it's important first that one of the repercussions of this war is not also that we are not focusing on world challenges anymore, like climate change, like we have to rescue this planet from global warming and this kind of, we need renewable energy, so that now people are more focusing on getting weaponry and spending money for military budgets rather than to spend money for this. So this we have to make sure in the G7, in the G20 and in international agreement that this is not an additional shortcoming and repercussion. So there's a lot of, as I said, militarization there verbally, but also in the buying of weapons. And you can't spend the money twice, so you have to spend it either for that or for development issues or for green economy or for infrastructure and for education and this kind of thing. We need to solve the global challenges of mankind and not spend money for weaponry just because one mad president has decided so.
So you are also saying that the upcoming G7 summit is going to discuss and deliberate upon one of the most important aspects, which is shifting from carbon to renewable energy, something that people like us who are into environment have always been asking, but it took a war to do that.
Yes, this is a it's maybe before the war was there and maybe before the COVID was there, this was the topic. Even during COVID, you know, that we thought after COVID we have to restart economies in a green way. This is, you know, Friday for Future and all these topics which were in all our discussions in your program, in other programs, are now replaced by talks about war. And so this is one of the things we have to make sure that also the G7 is not losing focus just only on the war, but also on the future challenges, which is how to make a green future and how to save the planet from overheating and these kind of things. These are challenges even if we have the war there. The war is there, but the other challenges are not disappearing.
Ambassador Lindner, thank you so much for joining us here on India Today. Meanwhile, the story does not end there. There is a lot when it comes to how Europe is handling the entire Russia-Ukraine war. Now, after Finland and Sweden applied for the NATO membership, in another historic decision, Denmark will now be joining the European Union's defense policy after it held a referendum, signaling the latest shift among Nordic countries to deepen defense ties in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, Denmark is the only EU member that is not part of the bloc's defense and security policy. The referendum marks the first time that a government has succeeded in abolishing one of several exemptions secured in a 1993 referendum on the Maastricht Treaty, which is the foundation treaty of the European Union.
Denmark has voted a very convincingly yes. Maybe all the votes have not been counted yet, but perhaps it is the strongest result ever in a matter of EU in Denmark. That is huge if that is where we are after 50 years of membership. I am extremely happy about it.
And to discuss this historic decision, I'm being joined by Ambassador of Denmark to India, Svane Freddy. Ambassador Freddy, many thanks for joining us here on India Today. It has been 100 days and the sanctions have hardly helped. Now, the question is, can Putin really be stopped? Can West and the Europe really stop or contain Russia?
Thank you very much for having me on your program. Yeah, it's a very difficult question to answer. I mean, war is not serving any purpose. And of course, Europe and Denmark, we reacted strongly against this unprovoked war. But it cannot continue. It goes without saying 100 days of land war in Europe. It's a devastating war that has global implications. So I really hope that it's possible to stop this war one way or another. And I think it's important that all parties are looking into how can this be stopped. But we have to keep in mind that there was an unprovoked aggression against a democratic country in Europe, Ukraine. Never heard of, never seen before, so we had to react. And hopefully, whatever we are doing, this is a reaction. It's not an action. It's a reaction to what happened. That at some point in time it will serve its purpose.
Right, Ambassador, also, let's just go back to the decision that your country made. It is a historic decision of joining the European Union's defense policy. How does it really help Denmark?
As you know, we opted out back in 1993. This is almost 20 years ago. And at that time, we decided that through a referendum that we would not join this pillar of the European Union. But given the actual context and given what I just described as an unprovoked war against all basic principles, that led the government to call, with a broad majority in our parliament, to call for a referendum to see if we are ready to join the defense and security policy that the EU has. And an overwhelming majority, almost 67% of all the votes cast, voted in favor, and is really unprecedented. We have had a number of referendums related to EU and the European Union, and it's the first time we have seen this huge outcome positively. So it will mean that Denmark will join fully, and hopefully it will be around 1st of July, we will join fully in the common security and defense policy. So we stand 100% behind what EU members already have developed in that regard.
Right. So, it does mean that Denmark is trying to secure all its corners and to stabilize itself. How do you see Denmark's security stabilizing by joining this framework?
It would definitely bring us in alignment and fully in line with whatever is needed in a European context. And don't forget, as you rightly said, we were founding members of NATO, and NATO has more members than the EU. And NATO is our overall framework to protect us against unprovoked aggression and wars, and has been a stabilizing and have secured peaceful and prosperity in our region. The EU has its own kind of take, and we would like to play exactly the same role, not in any competition with NATO. NATO stands for what NATO does, but EU as such also have to develop and have developed, and now we are joining a common security and defense policy. It means closer collaboration in defense as such, coordination when it comes to EU, let's say, actions on ground and so forth. But this is to protect, this is in order to secure that we have peace and stability. And this is very important, also given the actual context in Europe. It's an important part of our, let's say, ambition to secure a far better, more stabilized, and more predictable, and thereby also prosperous world. So it will be an extremely important contribution.
Right, we were discussing about how Denmark is a founding member of the NATO, but defense budgets now will increase. All European countries are going to see an increase in defense budgets. How do you see it amid difficulties in economy? How do you see these defense budgets really working out for Denmark? We have NATO, and now you also are a part of the defense policy of the European Union.
We have to pay for our own defense, but within the overall framework. You can't expect others and other taxpayers to pay for your security. You have to contribute yourself. And that has been a long-lasting wish, priority of different U.S. presidents, because the U.S. has been really caretaking our, let's say, defense at large. So in that context, it's a natural, logical consequence. But of course, the actual situation in Ukraine with the unprovoked war initiated by Russia and launched by Russia and Putin, of course, that has really forced the European countries to speed up, accelerate their let's say, thinking on how do we protect ourselves? How do we secure that we are not being attacked and facing an unprovoked war?
Right. Ambassador Freddy, how do you see now military alliances or dependence aside, there is another big major dependence, and that is on gas. How do you see Europe manage gas without Russia should the war continue till the next winter?
Yes, the sanctions are there and they will stay, and they might even be reinforced and tightened. I think we are ready to pay the price, and you can see also my government have decided really to stop import of Russian gas and so forth. And that's how it is. We will see a transformation at a speed that we have never envisaged before. And if there's one good thing about all this is that we are fighting the climate change also in parallel with that. So the more we can reduce our dependency on fossil fuel, the better. But it comes at a high price, and I think we are ready. I know we are ready, and then much for that.
Ambassador Freddie, many thanks for joining us here on World Today. Indeed, a pleasure. With that, we slip into a short break. On the other side of the break, we will bring you defining images of the Russia-Ukraine war in the 100 days that have gone by.
India's #1 political reporter.
Defines what seems to be happening, vendetta politics. कोई दूध के से धुला हुआ नहीं है.
Unmatched eye, unmatched experience.
The world has changed. My black hair has become grey as well.
And with unmatched passion for the story.
Do not monopolize the conversation.
When it's 100% news that matters. It's News Today with Rajdeep Sardesai. Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Only on India Today TV. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com or call 9999892171. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
You are watching India Today.
Welcome back to World Today. Now, as the Russia-Ukraine war has entered more than 100 days, we bring you the most defining images of the conflict that has changed the lives of millions. Heavy Russian shelling on Kyiv has changed the entire landscape of the capital city. Once a bustling city of millions, now stands in ruins, with everything reduced to rubble. As soon as the first shelling started to happen in Kyiv, and the roads leading up to Kyiv were jam-packed with people trying to reach their homes away from the capital city. Roads to Kyiv was locked in car jam. In the initial days of the invasion, Russian forces attacked the main television tower in the heart of Ukraine's capital city of Kyiv. The attack potentially disrupted tower signal. In the opening combat of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Mi Russian helicopters launched a deadly air assault on Kyiv's Hostomel airport to seize it. In the efforts to fight against Russian forces, a brewery in Ukraine has gone from making beer to Molotov cocktails. Residential buildings in the capital city of Kiev have been reduced to rubble after relentless bombing by Russian forces. Death, despair and destruction after 100 days of war. Irpin and Bucha were heavily bombed by Russian forces. India Today's cameras captured the devastation on their cameras. As Russian troops tried to take control over the capital city of Kiev, residents took up arms to stand in the fight along with the country's military against Moscow's invasion. Ukrainian soldiers destroy a column of Russian tanks and armored vehicles on a rural road. The Bucha massacre. Bodies of hundreds of civilians were found in Bucha after Russian forces pulled out of Kiev suburb. Over 10 mass graves were found with hundreds of bodies in them. Ukraine accused Russia of committing war crimes. People were killed when Russian forces attacked a theatre in the port city of Mariupol. It was believed that around 1,300 civilians were using the theatre as a bomb shelter to escape Russia's brutality. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine, largest of its kind in Europe, was attacked by Russian troops. A massive nuclear disaster loomed after the attack, but the building remained safe. This image of a pregnant woman in Mariupol hospital bombing became the iconic image of this war. She was rescued from the rubble but didn't live long. She gave birth to a stillborn and soon after died while the war went on. As the war raged, civilians trained to defend their country. National anthem became the one tune that united Ukrainians and motivated them to go on. UNICEF reports that in the 100 days of war in Ukraine, 5.2 million children are now in need of humanitarian assistance. At least 262 children have been killed and 415 injured in attacks since the 24th of February. In an attempt to save life and build it afresh, away from the war, Ukrainians risked their lives. They walked miles, crossed broken bridges to reach safe harbor in a foreign land among unknown people. That's all in this edition of World Today. 100 days of the Russia-Ukraine war, and it continues. A stalemate when it comes to talks, and lives continue to be destroyed. We'll keep monitoring the situation and bringing you factual updates of the war. Thank you for watching.
Have you heard about light pollution? Yes, lights can cause pollution. In Paris, at the end of 18th century, only half of the city's street lights were lit at night during the full moon. The reason was economical rather than environmental. Initially seen as inconvenient, nowadays light pollution or photo pollution has become a major concern. As soon as the night falls, urban areas are engulfed by a halogen halo as streets and buildings are artificially lit up, blotting out stars. The phenomena has massively increased during the past 20 years. Much of the Earth is now visible from space at night. Light pollution poses several different problems. Artificial light attracts millions of insects, preventing them from providing a food source for birds and disrupting the food chain. It also causes disorientation of migrating birds who navigate using the stars. Artificial light can also interrupt the life cycles of trees. Those lit up at night tend to lose their leaves later. Humans can also be affected with problems like sleeping and concentrating. Some surveys have even linked long-term exposure to strong artificial light with cancer. Directing light towards the sky or at a building facade instead of the ground is also a huge waste of energy.
You are watching India Today.
India disgusted by Hyderabad minor rape. VVIPs involved attempt to cover up. Netas and kin being shielded. Outrage over tone-deaf perfume ad. India rejects rape culture.
Good evening and a warm welcome to India Today. I'm Paulami Saha. Here are the headlines we're tracking at the top of the hour. Horrific incident of a 17-year-old's alleged rape in Hyderabad has sent shockwaves. 3 among the 5 accused have been arrested. State BJP Chief Bandi Sanjay writes to Chief Minister KCR, demands a CBI probe. The Mandir Masjid controversy peaks in Karnataka. Massive protests by Hindu outfits VHP and Bajrang Dal erupted in Srirangapatna, Karnataka, with the Hindu outfits chanting the Chalisa. Section 144 imposed and massive security deployment on ground. Singer Moosewala's parents meet Union Home Minister Amit Shah in Chandigarh. Rubbishes all speculations. The father of joining politics says his son's fire has not yet cooled down and it hurts when such discussions happen. Hindu seers now wade into the Varanasi Gyanvapi dispute. A disciple of Shankaracharya Swami Swarupanand Saraswati is on a hunger strike after he was put under house arrest for offering prayers at a claimed shivling in Gyanvapi. Heavy security deployed in Gyanvapi. Massive war of words between AAP's Manish Sisodia and Assam Chief Minister. Sisodia levels corruption charges against Himanta Biswa Sarma. Assam Chief Minister threatens Sisodia with criminal defamation. Massive fire in a Hapur chemical factory in UP kills 9 workers and injures several others. Chief Minister Yogi orders probe over the accident. Prime Minister condoles the loss of lives. We're starting out with exclusive images that India Today has access to the Hyderabad accused. The first image there on your screens right now of the 18-year-old who allegedly raped a minor girl, a 17-year-old girl. All 5 accused have been identified, but only 3 have been arrested. Saduddin Malik accused of raping the Hyderabad minor. He is under custody at the moment. That is the exclusive image that India Today has accessed of the 18-year-old who has been, in fact, alleged of having committed a heinous crime. Exclusive images of the Hyderabad accused. The first image of the 18-year-old who allegedly raped a minor. All 5 accused identified, but only 3 arrested. Saduddin Malik accused of raping the Hyderabad minor. Those images on your screens right now. And the alleged rape of a 17-year-old girl, in fact, in Hyderabad, has sent shockwaves across the country. Telangana BJP chief Bandi Sanjay Kumar has written to Chief Minister KCR and demanded a CBI probe in the matter. In fact, the BJP released images of the accused as well. It has, of course, blown out into a controversy in Hyderabad, while 2 of the accused of the 5 still remain at large.
The alleged rape of a 17-year-old girl in Hyderabad has sent shockwaves across the country. The matter has sparked a massive political storm, with the BJP and Congress hitting the streets. The Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha, the student wing of the BJP, protested at the Gandhi statue in Purnapul. A BJP delegation headed by MLC Ramchandra Rao met the DGP and requested to transfer the case to CBI. Telangana BJP chief Bandi Sanjay Kumar has written to Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao and demanded a CBI probe in the matter. He accused the government and the police of acting in favour of the accused. The BJP also released pictures of the alleged accused.
One more allegation what he said is whatever the allegations made by the MLA are false, no MLA son is involved. This is not fair on the part of the police. That is the reason why we have to open the evidence to the public.
The Youth Congress staged a protest outside the DGP office and demanded the resignation of Telangana Minister K.T. Ramarao.
Who do you think you are?
Congress leader Renuka Chaudhary has demanded a probe by a central agency.
How are we to have any confidence in this government? We do not have any confidence in this government. We do not have, the lower police sections have all been corrupted absolutely. And these are high profile. They're ruling government ministers whose children are involved and central agencies. The Supreme Court should suo moto take cognizance of this, that there's a government failure here.
The National Commission for Protection of Child Rights has also stepped in.
इसकी एक पूरी डिटेल्ड एक्शन टेकन रिपोर्ट मंगाएंगे. इसमें कई पहलू हैं जिन पे जांच होना चाहिए, जैसे कैसे पब ने नाबालिगों को अलाउ किया, कैसे उनको नशेली चीज़ों का सेवन करने दिया गया. निश्चित रूप से इसमें जो लोग भी दोषी हैं उनको सजा मिलना सुनिश्चित हो, ये तय करने का काम आयोग करेगा.
Telangana Home Minister Mahmood Ali, who is under fire, has broken his silence.
कंप्लेन लेने के बाद जैसा पहले कंप्लेन आया उसके बाद दूसरी तरह एक्शन लिया, सेकंड कंप्लेन के बाद दूसरी तरह एक्शन लिया जा रहा. इसमें कहीं कोताही नहीं हो रही और तेलंगाना की पुलिस बगैर किसी प्रेशर के काम करने वाली है. तो तेलंगाना पुलिस है, जो भी जिसके अंदर जो भी खाती करार जाते हैं, पुलिस कभी भी उन्हें छोड़ती नहीं है.
The police have identified 5 accused in the case, out of which 3 are minors. 3 of the suspects have been arrested so far. The delay in making arrests has led to fears of a cover-up. With Ashish in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
Joining me this evening are Mohammad Shakil Amir, who is an MLA of the TRS party, Krishna Sagar Rao of the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, and Divya Reddy Sala, who is an activist. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us. Mr. Amir, I'll come across to you first straight away. My question is there an attempt that is being made to cover up the details of this case and shield some of the accused because they are linked to high-profile persons and influential persons?
No, not at all, madam. First of all, I strongly condemn this act. The way it has happened, it's a very shameful and painful act. It shouldn't happen to anyone in this country or around the globe. And apart from it, the police, even the girl, she did not reveal anything until 2 days to their parents. After she revealed to her parents, the father of the girl approached the Telangana police, Hyderabad police, and immediately police came into action. And only she has provided a name of one guy as per my information. But police has collected technical evidences. Police has done their job very nicely. Immediately, they
Are you
investigated.
sure, Mr. Amir, I'll just like to interject over there and ask you, are you sure the police acted immediately? Because yes, the father came forward after the incident happened on Saturday, came
After
forward on
3 days.
Wednesday.
After
A
3
case
days,
of
yes.
outrage to modesty was lodged, and Thursday she, in the presence of some of the lady counselling workers, she revealed exactly what
everything.
happened.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Then
Yes.
a case
Yes.
of gang rape was registered. But Friday,
Yes.
until it was the opposition that protested, until there was media pressure, there were absolutely no arrests made. Even if she had identified one person, why wasn't that one person arrested immediately, sir?
He was being arrested immediately. Police were, see, once you give the complaint, police have done their job. They have investigated from all the angles. They have collected
No, but
technical
your Home Minister
evidences,
says that we are moving
circumstantial
cautiously. The police is moving cautiously because there are minors involved. There are minors involved, but they are criminals, aren't they, sir?
Yes, they are. They are. I'm not saying minors involved. Whoever does a crime, doesn't matter if he's a minor. He is involved in the crime and he should be punished as per the law, and stringent action should be taken against all these accused. The police is not lagging behind for anything.
Okay,
They
the
are
police
doing
is not lagging behind. Mr. Krishna Sagar Rao, would you like to come in on that? The police is not lagging behind, he says.
If the police was not lagging behind, there was no reason for Bharatiya Janata Party to put pressure on the government. If police was doing what it was supposed to be doing as per the standard operating procedure in these kind of cases which are high profile and also a gang rape kind of a case, it is essential as per the SOP that the immediate arrests are made.
Why, in your opinion, Mr. Rao, was the police lagging behind? Why do you say that?
This is the outcome, direct outcome of political appeasement, minority appeasement by KCR. There is nothing which is hidden here. Everything is out in the open. If it were to be government allowing the police to do its job, in one day, Telangana police would have put all the 5 guys into remand. It didn't happen. It's not because of the inefficiency of the police. Police hands are tied down.
Okay, police's hands are tied down. That's a very serious charge,
police
Mr. Amir, that he's making. He's saying that this is minority appeasement by the TRS government.
Let the police come out on paper. Let the police come out with the case diary. Let the police investigate the matter. And why you are trying to influence like?
Are you certain, Mr. Amir, that the police is not shielding anyone in this case?
Nothing.
Where is the Innova? Where is the Innova Krishna car which was used for the crime, sir? Where is the son of the TRS leader who owns that car, sir?
Police cannot put everything in front of people right away unless they collect the proper evidences. So that the people cannot tamper the evidence once it is leaked to the media or the other people. They are doing their job. Let them come out before the judiciary. Let them present their case diary. Let them present everything, whatever they did, the investigation. Then we can talk. It is too early to say anything about it, madam.
Is it too early, sir? Is it too early to ask these questions?
No. What I'm saying,
I have 2 questions for Mr. Amir.
Police has to do a proper investigation. They cannot get influenced by the media reports or any other political party.
But the charge is that they're getting influenced by the political party in charge. Mr. Rao, you wanted to come in.
I'm just asking, Mr. Amir.
In my view, the police are doing a very transparent investigation.
How
can they question that until they let them come out on paper, on record?
Well,
let them come out on
Mr.
record.
Amir, if you let me.
They are writing what has happened actually. Nobody knows. Only assumptions are made everywhere. Let them come out on the paper. Let the police
Mr.
explain.
Amir, let me also ask you. I think you're defending the indefensible. It is very clear, but I don't know why you're defending police.
I am not defending any of them.
Let me ask you 2 questions. Why are you so rattled?
I request the government to hang the accused. I request
why are you so rattled? I want to ask you 2 questions. If the car is impounded...
Mr. Amir, just hold on. Mr. Amir, just hold on. Let him ask the 2 questions that he wants to ask. Just hold on for a second.
I don't care.
The public needs to know this. See, the father has given, as per our reports, the father has given all the 5 names. And then the car was impounded. When the car is impounded, they know who the owner of the car is.
The father hasn't given the 5 names. The father hasn't given 5 names.
So why did it take 3 days
given 5 names.
to arrest these 5
Only
people?
1 name was revealed.
Why did it take 3 days
other names were collected by the police
to arrest these 5 animals? No, now why are you defending this?
Okay,
Why
let
are
me
you
get
defending the law
in
and police
Divya
action?
Reddy Sala into this debate. Let me get in Divya Reddy Sala into this debate. Divya, do you think the police is moving slowly? Yes, it took some time for the family to come forward and register the complaint. It took some time, another day, before the girl was counseled and she could actually reveal the horrific details of the sexual assault that took place. It took some time, but as far as the police's action is concerned, subsequently, do you believe that the police has been lacking, or do you believe that this case has to be treaded upon cautiously because it involves minors?
Polemy, I would just want to put in my thoughts and without any interruption if
sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
See, firstly, we all know that she is a minor and a couple of boys who were unnamed were also minors. I don't even know if names were not registered or names did not come out. How do we even know that they're minors? And they were allowed into pubs. That in itself is my first red flag out there. And as far as rape cases are concerned, there are almost about 2,382 rape cases which are pending in the Telangana state courts. And I think it's high time that we all must agree that there should be some special, fast track courts that should be established in such cases where, even at a district level, because these cases must be effectively disposed at the earliest. And we've already had another case, which was Dr. Disha's case, which also happened in the outskirts. And I don't know what we have learned from that. And the identity of the rape victims, I mean, I'm so sorry to say, but I've been receiving some atrocious videos and pictures of the rape victim, and she must be protected according to IPC 228A. So I don't know in this particular scenario, if the police or the establishment or anybody who is the concerned authority is doing their job right, and it is going to require that amount of time, but then you have to also preserve what needs to be preserved, like her identity needs to be preserved. The cases should have been registered earlier, and why is a clean chit already given without any complete investigation? So these are the questions that I have as a civilian who's worried for my city.
Absolutely, absolutely, and very valid sort of concerns that you're raising over there. Mr. Amir, would you like to come in on that? To add to what Divya in fact said as well, one more point, sir. Why hasn't the victim's statement under Section 144 of the IPC, Section 164 of the IPC been recorded yet?
See, one thing, madam, I agree with Divya, madam. What she is saying is totally correct. The government should form fast-track courts to dispose of these cases at the earliest, first thing. And secondly, a recording of statement is in 164 before the magistrate is a responsibility of a investigation officer, and they are trying to do that because the mental balance of the girl is not, up to the mark, and they are waiting for her to be, little bit. They are just trying to console her with everything. When she is comfortable, it will be done very soon. You have to give time to the investigation officers, and I want the accused to be hanged. I'm not in favor of any of the accused. This is a very heinous act, and it has to be condemned by everyone, every society, every person of this society. And secondly, the police we should give ample time to police to investigate the matter in a proper way. It's not with the media trials or anything. Somebody who did not do anything should also not be punished. We should let them investigate thoroughly and let them come out on paper. What I was telling you before, let them present before the court their report, what police wanted to say. Let them come on paper.
Okay, Mr. Rao, would you like to comment on that? The allegation is that the police cannot act as per a media trial. It cannot act as per a media trial, and we should not push the police. There shouldn't be any haste, because innocence could unfortunately be implicated then.
Yes, madam. Yes.
In these kind of cases,
Mr. Ahmed, just a second. Let Mr. Rao respond. I in fact repeated your arguments, and I've put that question to Mr. Rao.
Yeah, it's quite confusing and also unsettling to listen to what Mr. Amir is talking. I think he's only trying to give a framework of operation and not citing the case on hand. The case on hand clearly states that there are known people who have done this crime. So this is not that unknown people who have committed a crime and fled, so the police is taking time to investigate. This is a sad scenario that a young girl, underage girl, has been raped by people she knew, and for 2.5 hours in a car. It's a gang rape, and there are two majors in that. Now, either the majors' names have not come out, The 3 minors are not being arrested completely. Now, the entire case is still open without any press conference clearly stating what action police has taken. But the police is already giving clean sheets. Now, what is Mr. Amir talking about transparency here?
And it almost seemed, Mr. Amir, Mr. Amir, that the police acted, held a press conference, arrested the accused after Mr. KTR tweeted about it.
Follow me. This is an open case of interference of the government in a police criminal investigation.
Okay,
it's a high-profile
let
case.
Mr. Amir respond to that. That's a serious charge. The government is interfering in the investigation.
That. One thing, you have not proper knowledge of the case. You are saying no minor is arrested. You are wrong here. There is
What
a
are you
minor
talking?
already
Where are
arrested.
the arrests? Where are the names? Mr. Amir, don't fool yourself and fool people here. I don't know why you are. I don't know why you are trying to defend.
You are MLAs
are you a spokesperson of the DRS?
When you go to the UP,
of the police of Telangana?
Kuldeep Senegal did.
What are you trying to defend?
It's a shameful act all over the world. People were watching that act of Unnao rape case.
Who are you defending?
Nobody is shielding anyone. Nobody is
but why are you defending? Who are you defending? What are you representing? Are you representing Telangana police? Are you representing? Are you official representative of DRS?
You should ask for the justice.
And why are you defending this?
The government.
Why
Okay, let Divya come in over here. Divya, one of the statements which definitely stood out for me and it seemed extremely shocking is when the Home Minister today broke his silence, Mr. Mahmood Ali. He says that advanced culture hai, crimes hote hain.
Polemy, we are living in times and generations that are changing, and we are changing with times. I will not disagree that we are not moving fast with times, but that's what is the generation gap that we discuss, right? So crime cannot be correlated to generation that is, I genuinely feel that the younger generations are so much more smarter than us, or they're so much more efficient than us. They're so much more ahead of us in so many other things as well. So crime cannot be correlated to it. I think it's fairly to do with the fact that there is no capital punishment, and that is not taught to the younger generations, and they have not seen it. They have not witnessed a single, capital punishment in such cases. And I think that is also giving them an encouragement to use the loopholes in the system, which is very unfortunate.
Okay, Mr. Amir, just closing comments both from Mr. Amir and Mr. Rao. Mr. Amir, can you assure everyone who's watching, those specifically watching in Hyderabad, who are of course concerned after this incident has come to light, that justice will be delivered and no one will be spared, sir, however influential they are?
See, only my view is there is the government of India should amend the law, and they should punish the juveniles also who are involved in these kind of crimes. The law should be changed from the government of India, and it has to be amended in the parliament. And even the juvenile should be punished, and they should be given capital punishment. That is my personal opinion. And the police should investigate the matter transparently, without any pressures, without any political interference. And the accused and the convicts who did this heinous act should be hanged. And I request my Honorable Chief Minister to form special courts to, immediately expedite these cases and get the justice to the victim. And we can do it in 90 days also. You can form a special courts, and in 90 days also the judiciary can close the trials. And this has to be taken.
Okay, so that is the request that's going out from you as an MLA to your Chief Minister, Mr. Rao. Would you like to make some closing arguments? Are you assured by the arguments which have been made?
I request my Honorable CM
Mr. Amir, we heard you. Closing arguments from Mr. Rao. Closing comments, sir.
It is quite unfortunate that it has come to what it has come to. This should have been actual smooth criminal investigation, because all evidence is present. There is circumstantial evidence. There is a complaint with names, and it should have gone to the court, and it should have gone to a natural trial process. Okay. Unfortunately, the young girl is now at the receiving end, despite she going through what kind of a hell she has gone through.
Absolutely. We just hope at the end of the day justice is delivered to her. She's gone through the ordeal. We can't do anything to change, unfortunately, what has happened to her. She is quite traumatized, is what I believe my colleagues are reporting from the ground in Hyderabad. But we do believe that justice is eventually delivered, and that brings her some amount of peace. Mr. Rao, Divya and Mr. Amir, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Ministry has asked Twitter and YouTube to take down a derogatory layer shot ad which is circulating on social media. There was massive outrage, in fact, over this perfume ad over promoting gang rape mentality. The Delhi Commission for Women chairperson Swati Maliwal had slammed the perfume company and said that the ads show toxic masculinity in its worst form and clearly promote gang rape culture. Demanding action against the company owners, the DCW chairperson had earlier said that she has issued a notice to Delhi police and written a letter to the INB minister seeking an FIR and strong action. The demand for action, in fact, came in against the backdrop of the alleged Hyderabad gang rape case, in fact, which has sent shockwaves across the country. So the INB ministry now acting and asking Twitter and YouTube to take down that ad immediately. Also, the Advertising Standards Council of India has written to the advertiser and said suspend the ad with immediate effect, which seemingly was promoting gang rape culture and mentality. And that's all we have for you in this bulletin. Stay tuned to India Today News and Updates. We'll continue on the other side.
Hello and welcome to our special Big in Your Life News, your weekly special for the best of big news. In this weekly roundup, we bring to you some of the top news that's made headlines last week. First up, India started the groundwork for 5G spectrum auction slated to take place this year, as per the plans announced by the Secretary of the Telecommunications Department and Chairman of the Digital Communications Commission, K. Rajaraman. The plan is to roll out 5G mobile services within 2022-23 by telecom providers. It's expected that the 5G will contribute $450 billion to the Indian economy. In another big news this week, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced the release of 21,000 crore rupees to more than 10 crore beneficiary farmers. The announcement was made as the Prime Minister arrived in Shimla to participate in the Garib Kalyan Sammelan. This falls under the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme. And good news for Indian hockey fans as the Indian women's hockey team has climbed to the 6th position in the FIH World Hockey Rankings, making it their best ever ranking till date. With 2,029.396 points, the Indian women's hockey team is now placed above Spain in the world rankings. So that's it from this week's special of Big in Your Life News. See you next week.
You are watching India Today.
...2022's biggest crime news break.
Popular Punjabi rap star and Congress leader Sidhu Moosewala was shot dead on Sunday.
Terrifying gangster hit on a superstar.
Visuals of this Thar vehicle is a witness to the dastardly attack.
India Today, relentlessly first at every step.
Sidhu Moosewala was targeted by these two dreaded gangsters.
With Moosewala's family, fans, friends and foes.
Who is this man and what is the gang that he has run?
Banduk, Bishnoi, Badla and Bhagwan. No angle untouched. India watching Moosewala murder coverage. Only on India Today. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Everyone's busy finding what's trending. You're busy finding out why. India Today for those who research before reacting. Download the India Today app now. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
You are watching India Today.
जरूर
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Everyone's busy finding what's trending. You're busy finding out why. India Today, for those who research before reacting. Download the India Today app now.
You are watching India Today.
More than 13 crore displaced, thousands killed, residential buildings reduced to rubble, cities, they've come to a virtual standstill. The Russia-Ukraine war in its 100th day has Ukraine reeling under Russia's relentless assault for 100 days and counting. And sadly, there seems to be no end to this war anytime soon. The eastern part of the war-torn Ukraine remains besieged with Russian forces carrying out multiple missile, rocket and artillery attacks. India Today brings you the latest on day 100 of this conflict.
The fire in Eastern Europe has been burning out for the last 100 days. The war that started on February 24th is nowhere near its end.
I've taken the decision to conduct a special military operation. Its purpose is to protect people who have been subject to abuse and genocide by the Kiev regime for 8 years. And to do this, we will strive to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine.
The special ops Russian President Vladimir Putin expected to end in a few days could go on for many more days, if not months. Ukraine has resisted, and how? The European continent has found a new hero in President Volodymyr Zelensky, who refused to flee his country when faced with Russian invasion.
Всім добрий вечір. Лідер фракції тут, голова Офісу президента тут, прем'єр-міністр Шмигаль тут, Подоляк тут, президент тут. Всі ми тут, наші військові тут, громадяни суспільства тут, всі ми тут. Захищаємо нашу незалежність, нашу державу. І так буде й далі. Слава нашим захисникам, слава нашим захисницям. Слава Україні!
Russia advanced quickly through eastern Ukraine, but faced the Ukrainian might as its forces neared Kyiv. While it rained death and destruction, stiff fight back forced the Russian forces to make a strategic retreat from the gates of the capital city. The Russian pullback from Kyiv revealed the real horrors of the war. The killings of civilians in Bucha, a suburb of Kyiv, shocked humanity. India Today's reporters who were in Bucha revealed the real picture to the entire world.
And armored personal carriers show and indicate the kind of battles that have taken place in this area. Not one, not two, but multiple burnt tanks and APCs in this area.
Many nations have since then launched investigations into alleged war crimes in Bucha. Having pulled back from Kyiv, Russia shifted focus to Donbas region in its second phase of war. Today, Russia controls key Ukrainian cities in eastern Ukraine, including Mariupol and Kherson. Heavy fighting has ensued in Mykolaiv and Kharkiv. While Russia has made significant war gains, they have come at a huge economic cost. The country is reeling under sanctions imposed by the West.
I spent a lot of time in Ukraine when I was a senator and vice president. I've spoken to the Rada in the days when they, in fact, didn't have what you'd call democracy, and was there in the Maidan when the former leader had to take off and head into Russia. And so, you know, with the Ukrainian people have a lot of backbone. They have a lot of guts, and I'm sure you're observing it.
Russia so far has put up a brave front. Kremlin has time and again warned the world of severe consequences, even dangling the nuclear threat at times. The effect of the war is being felt across the globe. Inflation is surging, posing the single biggest challenge to the whole world. For a world that's emerging out of a pandemic, the Ukraine war has come as a double blow. Bureau Report, India Today.
So day 100 of the Russia-Ukraine war, and President Zelensky has conceded Ukraine has lost about 1/5 of its territory to Russia. The battle intense in Severodonetsk. Russia, of course, has claimed it will pursue its special operations till all its objectives are met. The question is there an end in sight? Is there any scope now for a peacefully negotiated settlement? Or are we looking at a prolonged war of attrition in Europe? Some of the finest minds from across the world join me on this India Today special broadcast. I want to welcome on this show Sviatoslav Yurash, a young Ukrainian member of parliament who joins me from Kiev. He is en route Donbas. Dr. Tinatin Akhridiani is a research fellow at the Foreign Policy Center for European Policy. She joins us from Brussels. Gil Bandola is a senior fellow, Defense Priorities, a senior research fellow at the Center for the Study of Statesmanship, joins me from Washington, D.C. Ambassador Ajay Malhotra, former Indian ambassador to Russia. Always a privilege having you on the broadcast, sir. And Xenia Kondrateva is a senior journalist, joins us from Moscow, Russia. Mr. Yurash, I want to come to you first, sir. 100 days into this conflict, President Zelensky says 20% of the country is lost. Are you looking at a negotiated settlement, or will this war continue for long? Is there a timeline in your appreciation?
It's by no means lost. It's occupied. That's what he said. And obviously it will be freed and liberated, as the area around Kiev was, as the area around Chernihiv and Sumy and Kharkiv was. We won those battles. We shall win the battle of Donbas and battle for Kherson, battle for Crimea.
Okay, I'll take a moment and try and reestablish that link. The young member of parliament is on his way to the Donbas region. Xenia Kondrateva, is this a major loss of prestige for Russia in general and for President Putin in particular? Ukraine, that was expected to collapse in weeks, if not days, continues to fight on the 100th day and is talking about retaking territory lost to Russia in the east.
Well, I wouldn't call any war a loss of
prestige, because those two things don't really go together. But secondly, I believe this is quite a Western dominated narrative that Russia was expecting, Kyiv to fall in 2-3 days. There is a lot of argument, there is a lot of discussion about that, whether that was really a plan or it wasn't. And many believe it wasn't. So I think Russia quite realized the kind of the state of Ukraine, and it assessed well the kind of resistance it will face. Maybe not very well, especially in some areas, but I think Russia is prepared to go ahead, and I don't really see anyone expecting this to end soon, unfortunately.
You don't expect this to end soon. Mr. Yurashia, back with us, hopefully. How long, in your appreciation, will this conflict continue?
As soon as Mr. Putin decides to leave our country alone, as soon as Russians leave our country at peace. It's very simple. The reality is that we have a Ukrainian nation, a Ukrainian state, and Russia wants to destroy it. Putin himself has said as much. You can all watch the video on YouTube, which is English subtitled for now alone, when Putin expresses just sentiment. Ukraine doesn't exist, they should be a part of Russia. Mr. Putin's goal is very clear.
Okay. Let me bring in Dr. Akhlidyani for a moment. Does Europe stand united with Ukraine, or a prolonged war, in your appreciation, Doctor, may see this support waning?
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Indeed. So what we basically are witnessing now, this is the European Union's unity of the largest scale so far we could do. And as you know, and as to explain for the audience, EU has already had internal disagreements over the member states on its common foreign and security policy. However, this conflict and Russia's full military invasion of Ukraine made the European Union as united as actually never before. And we can witness this not only in terms of the support that EU managed to provide for Ukraine, but also in terms of the sanctions and the scale of the sanctions that EU was in the end able to put forward against Russia. So far, we are witnessing the largest scale sanctions imposed on Russia in the whole history, from the EU as well as from the West.
But are they working? And let me take that to Gil Bandola. Russia says US giving longer range weapons to Ukraine will only prolong this war and the hardship, not just for Ukraine or Russia or Europe, but practically the entire world. In your appreciation, will the US continue to fund and arm Ukraine with longer range weapons? And will this actually lead to a fight virtually being endless to degrade Russia's ability to pose a threat to Europe?
Yeah, I think ultimately it's a war of attrition. I think we've seen that very clearly now after that initial Russian gambit to take Kiev, it looks like failed. So I think, the United States is fully committed. We've approved $40 billion, kind of an unprecedented sum, or at least you need to go back to the Second World War to see something similar. The United States is going to keep arming Ukraine, but has fenced off sort of the type of weapons provided. President Biden was very clear in the New York Times a couple of days ago, saying that we are not arming the Ukrainians to attack Russian territory. We're arming them to defend themselves and retake their territory. So the HIMARS, the rocket systems being sent over now, are the next piece of that.
Okay. Ambassador Malhotra, the Western Bloc seems to be losing patience with India. They want India to adopt a harder stance on Russia. Their point is India stands to gain more by aligning with the US and, of course, NATO. Russia is a waning power. Do you agree with this assessment?
Well, that's their assessment and they're entitled to it. And we have to look at it from our viewpoint and where our national interest lies. India's response to the Ukrainian crisis has all along been very carefully modulated. Our approach to the conflict has been independent, it has been balanced, it has not been frozen in time, and it has evolved as the situation has developed. Initially, we spoke of peaceful resolution of disputes in our EOV's explanation of votes at the UN. But once Russian troops moved in, we reiterated them.
Okay. And Xenia Kondrateva, the viewpoint from Moscow. how long will Russia be able to withstand the sanctions? European leaders reached an agreement late Monday to ban 90% Russian crude by the end of the year. What does this mean for Russians?
As some of the highest authorities said, there are always customers for oil. Of course, we can't dismiss the fact that the supply chains are disrupted, the logistics, the global supply chain are disrupted, and it will take some time for both Russia and its customers in Asia to figure it out. But I've been reporting on the energy industry for years now, and I would say that the shift towards green energy is a greatest thing for this planet, but then it also will take time. So you can impose sanction and you can, try to say that 90% of Russia's oil supply is now banned, but it will anyway somehow get to the same European customers through other routes, because the planet to grow, to develop, countries need oil and gas.
Yes.
And there is no way around it for now.
So, in that be true, Dr. Akhlidiani, are sanctions actually working on Russia? Look at the way the Russian economy seems to be bouncing back after initial sanctions.
Well, the sanctions are indeed working, and we should here note that we do not actually know what is going on the ground. All what we know from the screens, and this is badly manipulated, and not badly manipulated necessarily, but it's very much affected by the Central Bank of Russia. As we could see from the beginning of the war, the interest rates were really increased, and then the Russian ruble was really crippling. The recovery now is basically could only be assigned because of all the tools Russia was using, basically to forcing its companies to do their foreign reserves and then to push its customers to pay for the energy supplies back in Russian rubles. Now, to add on the comments of the previous speaker, basically, we need to clarify that the current sixth package of the sanctions of the European Union do not forbid all oil imports from Russia, right? So the pipelines, the oil that runs through the pipeline is so far exempted. Thus, this means that the current ban on oil imports from Russia could still be more significant than this is right now. However, still, this will refer 70% of imports of oil from Russia. So this will still have an effect. As for finding another oil customer, so this can be problematic for Russia because oil delivery of the oil still requires some infrastructure, and then Russia will also need to find the customers who will be able and willing to import Russian oil in the preferred, prices and preferred conditions that Russia wants to supply them. Right now, China is, for instance, recovering from the pandemic effects. However, we do not really see anywhere in the world increased demand for energy supplies from Russia. So this may not also happen overnight.
Okay. Ambassador Malhotra, your view, are sanctions working on Russia, or are sanctions hurting Europe as much, Africa when it comes to, wheat and food grain? Are these sanctions hurting the world in general? They're intended to target Russia. What's the way forward in your view?
Indeed, they are hurting the world. And so far, I think the Russian economy has handily shown its resilience. I think, as previous speakers mentioned, after an initial decline to 130 rubles against a dollar, it's now at 64. And far from collapsing, the ruble is right now the best performing currency against the dollar this year. The reference was there to interest rates being brought down from 20 to 11%. And the crude oil price of Brent being 117 per barrel means that Russia is getting a huge bonus. Russia, anything above 60 is a major add-on for it, 60 per barrel. And even if you see Western assessments today, whereas earlier they were saying that the Russian economy will decline by 40%, now they're saying that they've toned it down to an 8% decline, which is a normal sort of a thing and can happen to anyone. The impact has equally been on Western economies, so let's not get that wrong. But the real suffering has been, I think, on many in poorer countries due to food, wheat, sunflower oil and other products. And there are growing fears of a humanitarian catastrophe in these countries, which is simply linked with the fact that some countries want to continue fighting and others are pouring in highly sophisticated weaponry to encourage them to do so.
And the African Union
needs to find a solution up here.
Absolutely, and the African Union has raised this. The United Nations is now getting involved. Mr. Bandola, are talks and negotiated peace settlement, as suggested by Henry Kissinger, perhaps a possible way forward? Do you see this as a way forward?
I do. I hope that's what ultimately happens, but I don't think it's imminent. As you've said, as we've discussed, the war is raging, at a high intensity in the east. The U.S. is keeping Ukraine afloat. The U.S. and the Europeans, to a lesser degree, militarily. The Russians have certainly, as your previous speaker said, as the ambassador said, the Russian economy is proved surprisingly resilient and has kind of rebuffed, some of those initial fears of collapse. So I think I don't think any kind of negotiated solution or even a ceasefire is imminent. I think both countries have proven they can take a lot of pain militarily and economically.
And economically.
That's going to be ongoing. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Dr. Akilvidyani, then what's the way forward, given the fact that this conflict is actually hurting poorer countries much more? Look at what the African Union is saying. They need the wheat, they need the oil, and they want the United Nations to intervene. And Russia's made it very clear that if you're taking this wheat out, you also take their products out.
Indeed, but I think international community should have the leverage, and it will have the enough leverage on Russia to basically enable the country to stop blocking the Black Sea ports that are now blocked in Ukraine, which doesn't enable all the exports of the wheat and grains to leave the country, and therefore there is this international shortages. And here the unity and coordinated action of all the Western powers, G7 and international community would really be the key to increase the pressure and leverage on Russia, because these grains and wheats, like 90% of them are now sitting there and basically are just lost and wasted. So indeed, Russia should stop weaponizing food and stop seizing the ports. That could be the only way out from this current situation. This will require increased negotiations and pressure on Russia. And as for the overall effects of the sanctions, obviously we already see the effect of sanctions in the Western countries and also globally. However, we do not have exact, precise information how these sanctions are hurting the average citizens in Russia. All we can see is something that Russia is reporting, but we do not have access to the information.
Let me put that question to Xenia Kondrateva. President Putin is being accused of weaponizing hunger. UK is saying that, several countries are saying you cannot stop the supply of wheat to Africa and use this as a tool to get sanctions off you. How are people in Russia taking these sanctions? How is it impacting you?
See, people in Russia are facing obviously different sanctions, and they do not know, or they would not believe that Russia is weaponizing, food or energy for that matter, because there is a war happening in the country, and the ports are blocked not because Russia wants to restrict the supplies of grain to the other countries. That I hope that is understood clearly by everyone who is speaking on the panel. But if you ask how, because some of the speakers have doubted how sanctions impact Russians. So I must say that immediate impacts are only felt by those Russians that are some 2 or 300,000 of people who lost their jobs immediately after the Western companies have pulled out. We will see the impact, the massive impact, maybe 6 months or 1 year down the line.
Okay.
But immediately, you cannot say that the entire country is, really struggling economically. People have not yet, I repeat it, yet felt those pressures.
So 100 days into this conflict, people are not feeling the pressure, or not yet feeling the pressure in Russia. Ambassador Malhotra, your appreciation, are talks then the only way forward? And if the United States continues to arm Ukraine, those talks won't happen? Or if Russia doesn't stop its operations, then again those talks don't happen?
I agree with what you're saying. The only way to have a peace which is a durable one is by comprehensively addressing the security concerns of both Russia and Ukraine. And if you see carefully their positions, Both countries, Ukraine and Russia, are demanding written, ironclad security guarantees from others. And therein lies the kernel of a possible solution. Unfortunately, neither the Security Council is doing anything about it, and efforts to engineer a solution meeting Russian and Ukrainian interests are not being explored. But there is an opportunity to do so. But if more and more lethal weaponry and clashes are being encouraged, then you'll only have devastation. You'll have more deaths, you'll have more destruction, you'll have more hunger in many parts of the world. And let me add that I don't believe Russia's weaponizing the hunger. This is really due to the fact that one of the ports is mine, which is Odessa, which is the only port actually which Ukraine has at the moment. And if they remove their MARSEC 3 code which they put in, it says that no ships can go in or out, and remove the mines, then it's ready to go. I think that solution on the hunger will be found soon. But for the larger solution, I think further clarity on the ground will have to come before one or the other side moves.
I will let that be the last word on this part of the show. To all my guests, Dr. Akhledani, Gil Bandrola, and Ambassador Ajay Malhotra and Zinia Kondrateva for joining me on this India Today special broadcast. Many thanks. So present, imperfect, future tense. Will there be a negotiated settlement? It doesn't appear very likely given the hard line adopted both by the United States of America and by Russia. That is all we have for you on this special broadcast. Many thanks for watching.
Bollywood's biggest night returns. After a 2-year pause, it's back with a bang.
Welcome to Alpha!
I'm Dipali Patel and you will be joining me at the heart of the Alpha extravaganza in Abu Dhabi. The stars are all aligned on India Today.
Everyone's busy finding what's trending. You're busy finding out why. India Today, for those who research before reacting. Download the India Today app now. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com or call 9999892171. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
You are watching India Today. You are watching India Today. watching India Today. You are watching India Today.
Good evening and a warm welcome to India Today. I'm Paulami Saha. Here are the headlines we're tracking at the top of the hour. Horrific incident of a 17-year-old's alleged rape in Hyderabad has sent shockwaves. 3 among the 5 accused have been arrested. State BJP Chief Bandi Sanjay has written to Chief Minister KCR demanding a CBI probe. The Mandir Masjid controversy peaks in Karnataka. Massive protests by Hindu outfits, VHP and Bajrang Dal erupted in Srirangapatna, Karnataka, with Hindu outfits chanting the Chalisa. Section 144 has been imposed and massive security deployed on ground. Singer Moosewala's parents meet Union Home Minister Amit Shah in Chandigarh. Rubbish all speculations of joining politics. The father in fact says his son's fire has not yet cooled down and it hurts when such discussions happen. Hindu seers now wade into the Varanasi Gyanvapi dispute. A disciple of Shankaracharya Swami Swarupanand Saraswati is on a hunger strike after he was put under house arrest for offering prayers at a claimed Shivling in Gyanvapi. Heavy security deployed at Gyanvapi. Massive war of words between AAP's Manish Sisodia and Assam Chief Minister. Sisodia levels corruption charges against Himanta Biswa Sarma. Assam Chief Minister threatens Sisodia with criminal defamation. Massive fire in a Hapur chemical factory in UP kills 9 workers and injures several others. Chief Minister Yogi orders probe over the accident. Prime Minister condoles the loss of lives. The alleged rape of a 17-year-old girl in Hyderabad has sent